Hello, we're just back from our local seashore. Dogs are soaking wet. It's just started to spit with rain now as well, although it was lovely half an hour ago. But I've made us a piece of toast. We're going to have some toast for our dinner, and I'm going to share this with the dogs. Yeah, and while I was down the seashore, I took the opportunity to bring a handful of seaweed up to show you what fresh seaweed looks like taken from the shoreline, not taken from the rocks. This is seaweed that is washed up on the shoreline. I'll show what it looks like, then I'm going to show you some seaweed that's been in a bucket for well over 6 months. This is seaweed that I collected last autumn. We're now near the back end of spring, and this seaweed has had a chance to break down. So I'll show you what seaweed looks like fresh from the seashore, and I'll show you what seaweed looks like after it's been given the chance to break down. Hey, I haven't had a piece of this yet. Hold on. Hold on. And what we're going to be doing today, we're going to be planting potatoes in buckets of seaweed and leaves. I've also got some leaves that I collected last autumn. So the leaves have been kept dry in my greenhouse for about 6 months, and now we're going to mix the leaves and the seaweed together in a bucket, no fertiliser, no soil, and plant potatoes. Now this isn't the most exciting part of a gardening video, is it? Planting potatoes. The best bit is when you harvest the potatoes, but that's not going to be for 4 or 5 months now. But what I've got is, I've got some footage from a previous year of me harvesting potatoes that were grown in seaweed and leaves. So that'll give you an heads up of what's possible, won't it? You don't have to wait 4 or 5 months to see what happens. If you want to give this a go and you want to see an end result before you give it a go, you're going to see it on the back end of this video. There you go, sweetheart. Right, last piece. The dogs have always got to get the last 2 bits, so I'll take a couple of bits off so I don't forget, because I've done that in the past with my mate Molly and felt really guilty. You'll see Molly, by the way, on this footage that I'm going to cut you to before this video ends. She was my original gardening assistant. Molly's gone on ahead some years now, but we've got these two to look after, haven't we? Meg and Daisy. Yes, we have. They're listening to every word. I'm not taking their eyes off this toast. Hold on. That piece is for me. That piece is for me. These 2 pieces are for you. Meg and Daisy. That's it, girls. All gone. All, yeah. You needn't check the plate. It's gone. If I say it's all gone, it's all gone. Right. Let's crack on with this video. First, let me show you the seaweed that I brought up from the seashore today. This is fresh seaweed. Okay. Fresh seaweed. We don't want that. This is what we want. Composted seaweed. This is seaweed fresh from the seashore today. This is seaweed that came off the seashore probably 6 months ago in the autumn of last year. Let me just put this to one side and we'll turn that bucket out. Right then, let's see what this looks like. Well, does that look like seaweed or does that look like compost? Yeah, that's broken down really well, hasn't it? Hey, look, you can just see little pieces of seaweed still left that haven't actually quite got there. Just little pieces. Okay, so that's the seaweed. Now then, let's add the leaves. These are the leaves. Now these leaves, as I've already told you, were collected last autumn, but these have been kept dry in a bag in the greenhouse. The seaweed was kept in a bucket with drainage holes in, outdoors, so the wind and the rains had an opportunity to help break that down. This has stayed completely dry, so it hasn't broken down. So we're going to mix the two together now. I don't think I've told you yet, but the reveal you're going to see shortly is a 2-bucket shootout. Yeah, it is. It's a 2-bucket shootout. In one bucket we have a single Charlotte growing, and in the other bucket we have a single Winston growing. Hey, aren't those 2 lovely names? Lovely names for a potato. Lovely names for a couple. Winston and Charlotte, don't you think? Right, well, we're not going with Winston and Charlotte this year. I'll just show you what we're going with, and then we'll get these potatoes planted. Right, let's see what we've got in here. I think this is, in fact I know what it is, that is Maris Piper. As you can see, there's roots and there's shoots. The potato should have been in the bag that way, and the shoots would have been pointing that way, but the potato's been in the bag that way, so the shoots are pointing that way. So we'll plant it that way when we come to plant it. So that's Maris Piper. And in these bags, incidentally, is just some damp coir, some wet coir. And this is a potato called Tyson. I've only just found these this year and had a go at them. What is interesting, particularly if you're new to gardening, is the roots, these white things, they emanate not from the potato but from the base of the chit. Where the chit breaks, the roots break. The roots go that way, The chits go that way and form the tops of the potatoes. And all the potatoes, incidentally, that this potato produces will not be below it, will be above it. Same with that one. Don't produce potatoes below on the roots. They produce potatoes above on the shoots. Okay, let's move those out the batter. Right, we're going to put 2 inches in the bottom. That's enough. Looks like 2 inches to me. How about you? It's 2 inches, come on, spot on. Right. Maris Piper. Goodbye, Maris Piper. See you in 4 or 5 months. How's that? 1 done, 1 to go. 2 inches in the bottom. Yeah, looks like 2 inches to me. We'll sit Tyson on that 2 inches and we'll bury Tyson. Bye bye Tyson. See you in 4 or 5 months. Now then, I'm going to cut you to that video now. So it's bye bye from this first half. But enjoy the second half if you're still with me. Hello. Here at Homegrown Veg, we're going through our early potatoes at a great rate of knots. There's not many left now, not many of these 10-inch pots left. The only ones I've got left are these potatoes I'm growing in seaweed and leaves. No soil, no fertiliser, just seaweed and leaves. And I've got some potatoes that I'm growing in forest bark and wood chip as an experiment. I've never done that before. I have grown in seaweed and leaves before, but never forest bark and wood chip. And by the end of the year we should be able to make a comparison, see if one's better than the other. But I'm going to do a 2-pot shoot out today. This is Charlotte. The Charlottes I've dropped earlier have always given a good return, a good quality potato. So we'll expect some quality off Charlotte. And this is Winston. And as you can see, Winston's starting to get some yellow leaves on the bottom. So Winston's ready to go. Both these guys have been in 17 weeks. So who's your money on? Charlotte or Winston? Now then, Charlotte or Winston, Molly? Molly's not bothered as long as she gets a couple. So let's hope we can find some small ones for her. And the only forecast I'll make is that there'll be lots of worms in these pots. The worms love this seaweed and leaves. Goes in as seaweed and leaves and it comes out virtually as compost because the worms are working away, the potatoes are growing. This is permaculture, isn't it? Right, I've already spun up. We'll do Charlotte first. Have you placed your bets? Have you picked the one you want? Well, we'll empty these out. We'll do a weigh-in once we've got them all out. Okay. Okay, here we go. Charlotte first. How's your early potatoes going? They're doing okay. I'm quite pleased with these. Quite pleased. Check that. Yeah, Charlotte. Yeah, it's been in there about 17 weeks. Okay. Here we go, Molly, ready for this? Well, it looks quite wet, but that's hardly surprising because it's done nothing else but rain. Right, it's done nothing else but rain for this last few weeks, so let's see what we've got with Charlotte, shall we? I've spotted our first worm, but not our first potato. This is our first wiggly worm. Okay, we've got one, yep. So we've made a start. I'll pop these up, you'll see them better as this reveal goes on. Oh. Another wiggly worm. Seed potato. And there's the mother lode. Okay. And luckily, oh, there's worms everywhere. Look at them, they're flying all over the place. Boy, they're as big as snakes. Look at them guys. Can you see them? They're as big as snakes. Get in there. Hold on, Molly, hold on, hold on. Now, she's gone to that side of the barrow because she knows that's the side of the barrow where the potatoes are being thrown. Yeah? How cute is that dog? Pop these in here. Just pop this up here. If I can, wait a minute. I'll just have a look in here, see if there's any more. I don't think there is, I think that's about it. More worms than potatoes. They're just very, very small ones, but they've got to come out because I will reuse this compost. I will reuse this seaweed and leaves. So we can't leave any small ones in because they'll just kick into life. Okay, that's Charlotte. Right. Let's get Winston into the picture. Ooh. There he goes. Okay. Top 2 inches, nothing in there, never is. That's our first small Winston. We'll just use this style. Molly's trying to work out where these potatoes are going and hey! Come out of there! Hold on, I'll sort you out in a minute. Whoa, there we go. Oh, good old Winston. Well, I can tell you now, if you placed a bet and you've gone with Charlotte, you're back to loser. Even before I've got these guys on the scales, I can tell. Excuse me, Mol. No, keep off that. Just put that there. I think I've said this before, but this compost looks better now than it did when it went in. I should have said this seaweed and leaves. It's starting to look like compost. Right, let me pop these guys out for you. Let you see these. There we are. Right, let's have a look at these guys. And they all look sound potatoes. It doesn't look as though I'll be throwing any out of this lot. How's that looking? That's Winston. That's Winston. I don't know if you'll get this right behind Winston. Maybe. That's Charlotte. Winston, Charlotte. Okay. Right, we'll go and get the scales. I'll have to take Molly with me. I can't trust it. Can I not? Well, I can, but I wouldn't be too happy if you ate too many potatoes and made herself ill through my negligence, so she's coming with me. Come on, Moll, we'll go and get the scales. In fact, you go and get the scales. Come on. Go and get those scales and bring them out. She won't be a minute. Good girl, thank you. Oh, she's here now. We've got the scales. Right, look out, Mol. See if we can weigh these. And you're definitely going to get a small one for that. Well done, sweetheart. Excuse me, Molly. Okay. So, Charlotte's up first. Just under a pound. Oh, will you give me a pound for that? Oh, give me a pound. Alright, it's a pound. Thank you. Molly, go down that side. I've got a small one for you. Come round here. Come here. Is that okay? Right, Molly's had a small Charlotte. And you give me a pound there, didn't you? Right. We'll go with Winston now. We'll put this big lad on first. And he is a big one. Whoa, it's 3/4 of a pound on his own. Oh, there's the pound. I've always said that a pound's a good weight out of a 10-inch pot, and anything more is better than a good return, isn't it? If a good return's a pound and you get more than a pound, well, better than a good return. How's that looking? What can we see? Let's have a look. Oh, 1 3/4 pound. I think that's possibly one of the heaviest returns I've had this year, 1 3/4 pound. So it's 1 3/4 pound of Winston and a pound of Charlotte. Grown in a 10-inch pot on a patio in nothing more than seaweed and leaves. No soil, no compost, no fertiliser. That seaweed and leaves was overwintered on my raised bed last year, chopped up and overwintered. 8 or 9 months ago that would have looked like leaves and looked like seaweed, but now it looks like compost and it looks like it's a winner. Would you agree? Okay, so this is Homegrown Veg, signing out.